racism is not a joke, man. Racism is real. Racism, unfortunately, it's still a thing. It's still around. I hate it. I fucking hate it. But it is what it is. Alcohol beverage companies and celebrities just seem to be a very risky subject nowadays. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about. Business is business, but just like any company or job, there's always going to be somebody who disagrees or just plain argues with some or most business decisions. But in the case of Sean John Combs, aka Puff Daddy, also known as Mr. Bad Boy for Life himself, it was much more unrelenting, to the point where he had to call it quits. More on that, guys, after this. So before we get into the main topic, guys, I thought it would be we thought we would get a little bit into the company that Diddy was collaborating with. But before we get into those, like I said, main topics, for those of you who are not familiar with Sean Combs, which aka Puff Daddy, he is an American rapper, actor, record producer, record executive. The last record he worked on was in 2015, which was called the MMM, 3Ms, which stands for Money Making Mitch. Now, when I think Puff Daddy, I think like that was really, really early 2000 stuff. That was around the times that I was really like, I was into Puff Daddy a lot at that time. I mean, I cannot remember the name of the goddamn song, but the video has always been like really just instilled in my mind. It's where he's playing golf on some sort of rooftop, and if I'm not mistaken, that is where we'll call it the slogan or the term "Bad Boy for Life" was birthed, if I'm not mistaken. Leave it in the comments, guys, if you are Puff Daddy fans and know what song and what video I'm talking about. Leave it right down there. But anyways, the company that Sean was affiliated with was called Diageo PLC. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. So Diageo is a British multinational alcoholic beverage company with its headquarters in London. It operates from 132 sites around the world. Its leading brands are Johnny Walker, Guinness, which is one of my favorites, Smirnoff, Baileys, which also happens to be one of my favorites. Only reason is because I enjoy myself a car bomb, which so happens to have Guinness in it in one of the ingredients. So bravo for that. Captain Morgan rum, also like that. And Tanqueray, some shit like that. And Gordon's gin. Sorry if I mispronounced those as well. I can't read. Apparently, I can't read. So that's a little bit about Mr. Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, and a little bit about Diageo PLC. Now, just today, this article that mentions all this whole shebang was this was on the mobile app, by the way. So this thing was saved to my favorites because I was scrolling through Google, because Google sends me stuff here now and then, right? Me and Google keep in touch. It's like an ex-girlfriend you can't get rid of. And I'm scrolling through everything, and I stumble upon this article, P. Diddy and Diageo. And I'm like, oh, look, that looks like a pretty interesting podcast topic, right? So I thought. So open it up, and it all seems, I'm sorry, and it reads that I have to become a subscriber to be able to open and read it. This was just today, which was weird. But if I open it up in like Chrome on my laptop, it's all good. I can read it as much as I want. Was the mobile app version and I started questioning this. Are they doing this, or is Google doing this to gain readers, or is it some sort of examination to start getting rid of the news to make people forget that it happened? Because I mean, it's happening on the mobile app right now. Will this continue on to your the laptops and the laptops and the desktops, stuff like that? That was my follow-up question after that happened. And who is the one doing this? Is it Google? Is it Diageo? Or is it Sean himself? Who is going to be trying, or who is trying to Mandela effect their way out of this? These are the questions. Man. Now, since I was able to open this article up on my laptop, before I even found that out, I was just going to go just based on what I could remember. But luckily, I was able to open it and see it. So I got my information. So here we go. So the story goes, Sean was partnered with Diageo for over 15 years, distributing their $1 billion collaboration of vodka and tequila, vodka being the Ciroc. It's a very distinct bottle. You can't really not notice it, and most of the time they come in a very like, it's not a 750 ml bottle. I don't remember how much of it. It's yay big. And the Leon has a very precise look to it as well. But anyways, due to recent events, the partnership had to come to an instant end due to racist accusations and neglection of liquor brands. This is what Sean, aka Puff Daddy, or I'll just call him Puff Daddy. That's kind of how I know him more by. Those are the accusations that Puff Daddy was laying out, because apparently Diageo was not doing their job correctly, or just being very rude. You know what I mean? I mean, racism is not a joke, man. Racism is real. Racism, unfortunately, it's still a thing. It's still around. I hate it. I fucking hate it. But it is what it is. Diageo made an announcement in a Tuesday court filing responding to Combs' lawsuit last month, which accused the company of racial bias and failing to adequately promote Ciroc vodka and the Leon tequila brand. Diageo asked the judge in the case to force Combs' claims into arbitration or dismiss the case. So Diageo basically calling Puff Daddy, basically, a liar at this point, because that's, like I said, racism is not a laughing matter, man. For Puff Daddy to call out something like that, I mean, it's a big deal. It's a thing. It's fucking real, right? It's not to be taken lightly. And I might have read another article somewhere that I think it was Diageo, the company Diageo, that says that that said that Puff Daddy's spirit was marketed more towards African Americans. There was another African American. I don't remember. I don't remember what else it said, but basically that's what it Diageo was implying. And I mean, that's kind of when I saw that, and I'm just thinking like that's kind of, I find that really hard to believe. That's like saying, because I'm Hispanic, I got some Mexican in me. That's like saying, that's like me having my own beer, for instance, a booze and chill beer. That's an idea that I want that to happen. So I have a, we'll say it's a Mexican beer, just because, because of the population here where I'm from, it's mostly Hispanic, Mexican, and whatnot. So let's say I have a Mexican beer brand, and but it's like I do Mexican because I wanted to spread. I wanted to go everywhere. Or not, maybe not a Mexican beer per se, just a beer in general. I got a booze and chill beer, and somebody, I don't know, we'll just say Diageo. I work with Diageo, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can't push this at all because this seems more towards like Hispanics." But it's like, no, man, I want this to sell everywhere. I don't want this just, I don't want this to, I want this distributed. I want this distributed the right way. I want this to be known all worldwide, right? And like, I don't know, it just seems these companies, man. And like I mentioned in the last podcast, the whole Bud Light thing. Um, I don't know what it is about. Well, so far as what I know, it's only been this case and Davey Mulvaney. But I don't know what it is, but uh, that's two celebrity collabs or affiliates or partnerships or whatever it is that they're calling it that just seem to cause a lot of drama, a lot of politicians involved in it, and it's like, again, I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is with that. But anyways, the company just I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know what's wrong with them. And that other article that I was looking at, it also mentioned that this one I thought was the most stupidest. Diageo said something along the lines that the, I don't remember which one they were referring to. I don't know if it was the Ciroc, the vodka, and or the tequila. But they said something along the lines like, "Oh, this the thing with your spirit or your liquor is that it has a lot of hip hop, um like it's associated too much with hip hop." And if you really think about it, that was a really dumb thing to say. And this is the reason why I say that, because what hip hop, rap, or anything along that genre, every music video that I've ever seen since I was young, all of them had all of them consisted of a very small formula, and the formula was always uh chicks dancing bare ass naked. We'll just say bitches, because that's hip hop rap. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So that there's the bitches, there's the drinks, there's the money, there's the cars, and I think that's pretty much really it. Those are the formulas: the bitches, the money, the drinks, the cars, and your occasional drugs. Sorry, five things. The five thing formula that is pretty much in almost every rap hip hop music video. Nowadays, I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, I know there's a handful that um still work with that formula, and seems to work out for them. And there's a handful of rappers that have matured and, have gone their own path. Which to them I say bravo. Bravo to those artists out there who decided to branch out and do their own thing. And you do you, bro. I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee here. Excuse me. And so, but that's what I thought when I read that. Those are the two quotes that stood out to me the most, and just like hip hop and rap music videos are essentially marketing videos, commercials, you can say, for any drink that you could think of, because what better way to promote a drink? But this works for anything, really. It works for any product. But I mean, the rap and hip hop community does affiliate a lot with the whole drinking and whatnot. So again, it's the perfect way to promote it. Like I said, they're basically commercials. Very, very expensive and very catchy if the music is good, commercials. So if anything, P. Diddy is in the right path since day one. So I don't understand why they said what they said. Why Diageo said what they said. Because I mean, like, if you think about it in a business way, that's kind of like I said, it's promotion, it's publicity. Plus, it's an art. It's just an artist doing what they do, showing their art, and at the same time, because they also get deals and sponsorships and partnerships and whatnot on the side. So not only does the artist make the money from the music, but also by promoting whatever it is that they're going to be showing off in the video. So it's like, but that's how I see that. That's how I see that part there. But Diageo, man, I don't know. There's an also says here that Mr. Sean Combs claimed in his lawsuit that Diageo paid lip service to promoting diversity in its business relationship while failing to adequately promote his brands. As evidence of bias, he pointed in his lawsuit to the company's $1 billion acquisition and marketing of Casamigos tequila brand, partly founded by actor George Clooney. This whole tequila brand, I actually just found out about it not too long ago when I did this live. So yeah, George Clooney kind of sort of part of this as well. George Clooney, I know him more better as the most the most what is the right word here? The most corniest and most cringiest of all Batmans. Leave it in the leave it in the comments, guys, if you've seen that Batman before. Batman, I think it was Batman and Robin with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everyone chill. I had to do that. I'm sorry. But yeah, leave in the comments, George Clooney Batman fans out there or not. So it states the whole, and then the fact that this partnership was going on for over 15 years, and then to just kind of like to end it like that. Like, I don't understand how businesses kind of end very successful and very just very 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 well promoted partnership, and then it kind of just like ends in these kind of situations. um like, it does not make sense to me, but I mean, again, racism is not to be taken lightly, and Mr. Combs, aka Puff Daddy, that is what he claims that is what happened. There's not much about the the disregarding the brands, but because all it mentions is the $1 billion partnership, and the 15 years that the partnership lasted before this whole lawsuit. But I mean, Puff Daddy's got some shit on his hands. That is for damn sure. Diego just like attempting to end it. Puff Daddy being the whistleblower, call it that, that calls out racism, or at least that's what Diageo was calling him. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely damn sure here, but I believe one of the things that Puff Daddy's lawyer might have stated. It's a cynical, transparent attempt to distract from multiple allegations of discrimination. Now, I am no stranger when it comes to discrimination. Um, I've been in that on that end of the stick. Is that how that saying goes? So yeah, I remember times where like I had this one cop. I don't think I ever got the name, but I had this one cop. I was like, I might have been in high school driving, and the fucker would stop me for absolutely anything just cuz, some punk teenager, long hair. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it, but um my wife or girlfriend at the time, we've been together for like about, what was it, 17, 18 years, and yeah, she was the witness to quite possibly two or three of those. Two or three of those. But yeah, I'm no stranger when it comes to discrimination, and that, yeah, it's really not fun. It's not fucking cool at all. So but want to pile on racism, that's just a whole entire fucking rodeo that you just don't want to be in. You just want to be a part of. You just don't want to do that. But for those of you who are not really familiar with the C-Rock, like I mentioned, it's a clear bottle, comes in variety of flavors, and I'm not mistaken, the original one comes in just like it's a clear long bottle, and the original one I think has like a shade of black. The rest of them have the exact same shape. It's depending on the color. Cherry, red, fade, so on and so forth. The tequila is a lot more on the basic kind of side, but again has a very has distinct style to it. So I mean, I would catch these bottles at the liquor stores. Now that I'm actually thinking about it, not so much on the tequila one, but the Ciroc, yes. Because as far as like flavored spirits, liquor bottles, those are pretty much in, especially if you're like a cocktail person, which is common, or not very uncommon. So I mean, as far as sales go, I mean, it was a $1 billion partnership, a $1 billion idea. So as far as sales and marketing goes, you know, it was done properly. It did well. How much did Diageo held back does not mention, nor is there ever going to be a mention, or is there, or anything really. Uh, Again, these are just all a bunch of attempts to. It's a giant corporation trying to cover its mistakes or trying to cover something else and not make it, uh, known. Because again, these big companies, these big corporations cannot risk getting this kind of publicity, not counting Bud Light. Um, yeah, they can't risk this kind of shit because again, racism, not a cool thing. So yeah, they're gonna try and spend as much as possible to avoid that kind of negativity towards their name, towards their work, as well as their other distributors. Because like the names I mentioned, um, freaking Guinness, um, Bailey's, and so on. These are all big names. These are big boy companies. And Diageo is just, the one on top. So no way in hell is this going to uh get out, or at least they're not going to try to. My other question is now is, are the other distributors going to be a part of this, as in like, well, then I don't think about it. No, not really. This is only, Puff Daddy and Diageo. But I mean, there must have been some association with the other ones at some point or one or another. Because I mean, for a company corporation like this, you know, I assume when it comes to marketing, they have to have board meetings, stuff like that. So it will come up, but it will not come out. That is what she said. And so, uh, P. Diddy, again, with this whole lawsuit in his hands, oh man, it's annoying. It's annoying reading this kind of shit. And like I mentioned in the beginning, I don't know what it is with celebrities now. Because I mean, when it comes to celebrity bottles, because you got Dwayne The Rock Johnson, which by the way, no one is ever gonna fuck with that dude for obvious reasons. No one is gonna accuse or call him absolutely anything because, well, as his wrestling background and, well, his physique shows, he will lay the smackdown on you. Believe that. And then there's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, uh, what's their faces? Those brothers from my God, that goddamn show. Can I remember right now? And then you've got that boxer that with the Irish whiskey. And you got a few. But yeah, you don't hear much about those. I assume because, well, those were an actual success. When it comes to this and the whole Bud Light situation, I guess, there's a bad apple in absolutely everything. I think that's really what it is. Because I mean, there was nothing else. There was nothing negative when it came to these other um, celebrity spirit collaborations. So it's like, I guess it was just one of those, like, how's that saying go? Wrong place at the wrong time. But then again, Puff Daddy was there for 15 years apparently. Shit, it's complicated. Uh, this is why I hate politics, bro. This is why I hate politics. But I think that's pretty much going to cover today's podcast, guys. I feel like I've gone not too much, but just enough for you guys to actually know what went down and who was involved, and as far as what is to come. I mean, the lawsuit's been going on for what I can only assume maybe like a week or so. Could be wrong. Leave it in the comments, guys, if you know or are familiar with absolutely anything with what's been going on with Puff Daddy and Diageo, and let me know if I've been pronouncing that right or wrong, guys. So yeah, that pretty much covers this podcast, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and for those of you who are listeners of podcasts and just enjoy listening and not actually seeing stuff or whatever you want to call it, yeah, that stick around and please support the Buzzcast podcast by continuing to listen on Spotify, because if you are listening, you are on Spotify. But the Buzzcast podcast is on Spotify. Go ahead and give that a follow if you are interested or intrigued by this topic, and if not, please go ahead and check out the rest of the episodes. There's got to be one in there, and if not, well, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by, and yeah, and also don't forget to follow along to Booze&Chill's socials via Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and I think I got them all. Instagram. I always got to miss one. And if you want to keep supporting the channel, guys, please go ahead and become a member on Buy Me a Coffee. You'll get to listen to these podcasts day or days before it goes up, as well as behind the scenes photos and thumbnails and all kinds of stuff that you will not get. And or you can just make a one-time contribution and buy your boy a cold one. And if you want to continue supporting, you can also become a member on Patreon. Now, in Patreon, you will get much more than you would on the Buy Me a Coffee. You will get early releases, the video podcast, as well as the audio podcast, as well, with a double S. Behind the scenes stuff that you will not be able to get on Buy Me a Coffee nor on the socials. So yeah, and I also do some couple stuff here and there for all the Patreon members. So you will there's some fun stuff in there. I'm gonna be probably adding something sometime this week. So if you are interested and supporting the channel, once again, become a Patreon member, and yeah, be cool like that. But that is it for that, guys. That's again, thank you for tuning in, and once again, leave the comments right down below if you are familiar with what's going on, or if you're a fan of P. Diddy, or a fan of any of the other spirit and liquor companies I've mentioned, and if you know anything about this story, go ahead and leave it right down there, and we'll talk. We can talk. And that's it for that, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether it being the audio podcast or the video podcast. Thank you, guys, and I will see you in the next one. And remember, if you keep watching, I'm gonna keep drinking. Cheers to you guys.